Hey everybody, Thomas here, and welcome back. It's another Monday, time for another mailbag. A decent stack this week, which is hard for me to lift up because it's one of those that's going to fall all over the place if I try, so I'm not going to try. But 8 items, it looks like, in a pretty healthy mailbag, so let's not waste any time and dig right in, shall we? This first one is from Prometheus Books. That will be Pyre. And it is another entry in Mark Hodder's Gonzo Steampunk series, The Adventures of Burton and Swinburne. This one is called The Rise of the Automated Aristocrats, and it comes out August the 11th. Sir Richard Francis Burton's expedition has returned from, well, again, no spoilers for previous volumes, but I think that we are, goodness, yeah, how far are we into this series now? I've lost track. Book 7 of this long-running series, but pretty wacky, over-the-top stuff, but if you approach it with that sense of fun and adventure, it is a lot of fun. But Mark Hodder's The Rise of the Automated Aristocrats comes out, once more, August the 11th, from Pyre. And this is from Random Penguin. Okay, Scott Sigler is a guy I know, but I have not ever been sent one of his books before, but this is a new one. It comes out from Del Rey. It is called Alive. And let me look at the sell sheet here. Okay, July 14th is the release of this. Let's see what it's all about, shall we? Okay, Alive begins with a teenage girl who wakes up in the dark, both literally and figuratively, emerging from a strange coffin. She has no memories. She has no idea who she is, where she is, or how she got there. After quickly freeing others from neighboring coffins, she discovers that they are all blank slates, just as she, and suddenly finds herself elected as their leader. They know immediately that something isn't right. Human bones line the dusty halls, and stone rooms full of more coffins hint at a past horror they can't remember. Thrust into the peril of uncertain survival, our heroine seeks answers to gnawing questions among the terrors they discover. But are there answers left to be found? Okay, then. Yeah, it started out, it sounded a little bit like, Joss Whedon's Dollhouse, and then it kind of appears to have taken a bit of a horror turn along there at some point. But anyway, Alive from Scott Sigler comes out July 14th in hardcover from Del Rey. Okay, this appears to be a new young adult by an author I'm not familiar with, Deborah Doctor. The title is Deadly Design. It says, "Even perfection can be fatal" on the tagline there. Let's see what it has to say. Yes, June the 2nd this comes out. Deadly Design explores the hot topic of genetic alteration in this heart-wrenching story. Deadly Design is the next must-read for fans of Kathy Reichs and Jessica Khoury. So if you're fans of theirs, I guess they're aiming this one at you. It says, genetically engineered identical twins, Kyle and Connor McAdams, were born 2 years apart and couldn't be more different. Kyle is the all-star of the school, while Connor lets his brother shine and remains preoccupied with video games. Good old Connor. But when Connor suddenly dies from a heart attack, Kyle learns of other genetically modified kids who've also started to die on their 18th birthdays. Connor must now track down the mysterious Dr. Mueller and unravel his genetic experiments, and do it quickly before he becomes another perfect blue-eyed corpse. Medical thrillers are rampant in television dramas, they say, but underrepresented in young adult literature, and Deadly Design will give teen readers exactly what they crave, apparently. A heart-pounding mystery with meticulously researched science. Okay, and they say if you're a fan of, like, Bones and the 100 and the Uglies trilogy and all of that, apparently this one is going to be for you. So June the 2nd, Deadly Design by Deborah Doctor, which is a good name for a woman who writes a medical SFYA thriller. And so this one is from the Penguin Group. It might be from Ace or Rock or Daw or one of those. Let's find out. I wonder. Okay, this is the trade paperback edition of a book that I got in hardcover some time ago. Didn't manage to get it added to the review queue in efficient fashion, but anyway, it's now in paperback. It's called Tomorrow and Tomorrow. The author is Thomas Sweterlich, and I do recall that some of you expressed an interest in it when the hardcover came in, and I showcased it here. So let me see, did a sell sheet come with this? Well, I'll just read the back so that we can refresh our memories. It says, there we go, hello camera, a thought-provoking near-future thriller. Pittsburgh is John Dominic Blackstone's home, even though the city has been uninhabitable ruin and ash for the past decade. The Pittsburgh Dominic lives in is the Archive, an immersive virtual reconstruction of the city's buildings, parks, and landmarks, as well as the people who once lived there, including Dominic's wife and unborn child. When he's not reliving every recorded moment with his wife, In an endless cycle of desperation and despair, Dominic investigates mysterious deaths preserved in the archive before Pittsburgh's destruction. His latest cold case is the apparent murder of a woman whose every appearance is deliberately being deleted from the archive. Obsessed with uncovering this woman's identity and what happened to her, Dominic follows a trail from the virtual world into reality, but finding the truth buried deep within an illusion means risking his sanity and his very existence. Okay, well, that does sound good. Darn, I kind of wish I'd read this already. Still, a new chance because the paperback is now out. Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Thomas Sweterlich. And another Penguin Group release. Okay then, Jack Campbell continues his Lost Fleet series with Beyond the Frontier Leviathan. Let's see, when does this one drop? Does it say? Yes, it does. May the 5th, so tomorrow. This one comes out. Yes, hailed as one of the most thrilling military SF authors of our time, Jack Campbell returns with the latest addition to his New York Times best-selling Lost Fleet universe. The Lost Fleet, Beyond the Frontier, Leviathan. Bit too many colons for one title, but in any event, yeah, in this series, Campbell adapts his extensive military knowledge to the sci-fi adventure of Blackjack Geary, a reluctant hero who is trying to rebuild a better society from the ruins of an interstellar empire. Yeah, did read the first couple of these, and desperately need to catch up with them, but always happy to see a new one. Tomorrow in hardcover from Ace by Jack Campbell. And no, I don't usually gravitate towards military SF, but I do enjoy those. Let's see, who is this from? Penguin Random House again. And okay, Terry Brooks fans, the Shannara train keeps chugging along. This is the new one. It's The Darkling Child, The Defenders of Shannara. And this one is out on June 9th. And, oh, I didn't know this. Apparently MTV, of all networks, is doing the Shannara Chronicles. Or they're trying to get into... trying to bank in some of that Game of Thrones money. So frankly, it's very surprising to me that it's taken this long for a film or TV or anything like that to come out of the Shannara books, but I guess we're finally getting it. But in any event, yeah, since this is volume 26 billion of an ongoing series, don't want to do too much of the synopsis here so as to avoid spoilers, but this is, again, a Del Rey hardcover on June the 9th. And hooray, if you're a Shannara fan, I guess you'll be happy to know you'll have a new series to TiVo. And onward. This looks to be a Tor title. And it is. It's a book called The Hanged Man. The author is P.N. Elrod. A new Gaslamp fantasy noir filled with magic, mayhem, and murder. I guess it's part of a new series called Her Majesty's Psychic Service. Let's see, this comes out May 19th. All right, on a freezing Christmas Eve in 1879, a forensic psychic reader is summoned from her Baker Street lodgings, of course, where else would they be, to the scene of a questionable death. Alexandrina Victoria Pendlebury, named after her godmother, the current Queen of England, is adamant that the death in question is a magically compromised murder and not a suicide, as the police had assumed. After discovering a shocking revelation contained within the body in question, Alex must put her personal loss aside to uncover the deeper issues at stake before more bodies turn up. Turning to some choice allies, the handsome, prescient Lieutenant Brooks, of course. Let's see, the brilliant, enigmatic Lord Desmond, and her rapscallion cousin James. Rapscallion, that's a good word. Alex will have to marshal all of her magical and mental acumen to save the Queen and country from a shadowy threat. So, The Hanged Man by P.N. Elrod arrives May 19th from Tor in hardcover. Okay, getting towards the bottom here, another Random House package. It's a big, heavy week for them. And here we finally have it. The finished copy of Naomi Novik's Uprooted comes out May the 19th. You're all very familiar with this one here by now. Expect a review really, really friggin' soon on this one. I have been reading it. Yes, liking it so far. But in any event, May the 19th, something to look forward to. Just to refresh your memories really, really quickly, it's Agnieszka. The heroine, I guess, loves her valley home, her quiet village, the forests, and the bright shining river, but the corrupted wood stands on the border full of malevolent power, and its shadow lies over her life. Her people rely on the cold-driven wizard known only as the Dragon to keep its powers at bay, but he demands a terrible price for his help. One young woman handed over to serve him for 10 years, a fate almost as terrible as falling to the wood. The next choosing is fast approaching, and Agnieszka is afraid. She knows, everyone knows, that the dragon will take Kasia. Beautiful, graceful, brave Kasia, all the things Agnieszka isn't, and her dearest friend in the world, and there is no way to save her. But Agnieszka fears the wrong things, for when the dragon comes, it is not Kasia he will choose. And we all know, we can infer from that, who will get chosen. Naomi Novik's Uprooted. look for my review of this one very soon. And finally, a big old vacuum sealed package from the Hachette group. What could it be? This thing that's going to be a big pain to open. What could it be? When in doubt, just tear stuff. And finally, this is the arc for a book called Night's Shadow. The author is Sebastien de Castell. This comes out, let's see, June the 2nd. And it is the sequel to a book called A Traitor's Blade, which got all kinds of raves from the people I know who read it, but which they never sent me. So I'm going to have to like bug them for one of those, because I can't very well read that with this one without reading that, can I? Traitor's Blade was celebrated by critics and fans as a breakout fantasy novel of 2014. It's a series called The Greatcoats. Now, first cantor of the Greatcoats and our hero Falcio Valmond returns in Night Shadow Volume 2 of a fast-paced fantasy adventure series inspired by the Three Musketeers. So, very much in the swashbuckling tradition, this is. But this is quite a nice addition even for an arc here, so I'm sure the hardcover will be beautiful. But this comes out, again, June the 2nd, Night's Shadow by Sebastien de Castell, the sequel to Traitor's Blade. Okay, and that was a pretty good mailbag, if I do say so myself. What do you think, viewers? As always, you know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these books looks most exciting and interesting to you. And beyond that, if you enjoyed watching, please, as always, leave a like, share this video far and wide with your SFF reading friends, and repeat after me, please subscribe, because that is how SFF180 grows as a channel, and I very much appreciate it. Also, be aware, June 1st, there's an announcement that's going to happen of something I think really fun going on with BookTube SFF. Can't really spill any details at the moment, but it will be something that all of you can participate in. But above and beyond that, yeah. Wait around for the beginning of June. June the 1st, there will be the announcement made. I think you're going to like it. But otherwise, until I see you all next time, happy reading.